And hello, welcome to Uptown Tonight. Oh, it is January the 11th of 2023. We're well into 2023 already, and it's been good. The weather's been coming around a lot better, everything else. So, if you're out there, can you like, subscribe, share, comment, do all that fun stuff below? I am your host, Mr. Wayne Stollenfacher, for the Uptown Tonight Podcast, and where we believe that a rising tide does raise all ships, and we're doing our best here to try to help out with just showcasing the FM area's entertainers. Today we have Mr. Tyler, our sound guy, Larson. I had to ask him his last name because I know we probably said it a few times, but it's usually just Tyler.
Sure did.
Ty. So, fuck you, Tyler.
Fuck you, Wade.
That's how we always greet each other.
That's right.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. We were just talking about this because I'm an old Gen Xer. So we have a kind of a different way of ruling things and everything else. And Tyler is a
person.
He is a millennial. We just found out.
Oh, sorry.
It's too bad. It's too bad. But he acts like a Gen Xer. We'll let him into the club.
No, I'm a millennial. 82 though, early millennial.
Early millennial.
Early.
So, again, we'll let him in the club and everything else.
Yeah,
so we're gonna have a nice conversation with that. He's basically filled in. We had someone with they had illness, so we have them on in a couple of weeks. But Tyler said he'd come on, and sure, let's hear what he's got to say. I have no clue about his background, and he's a man of mystery. So this is going to be a fun one to talk about. First, we got to talk about me though, because I'm boring, and we want to get that over with. So first off, we got Uptown merch. You can come and find our Uptown merch. We're at the Windbreak this weekend. Friday night, come and get yourself a nice Uptown t-shirt. And there's little ZBs. That's a little over a year ago. He doesn't look like that anymore. No. He doesn't sound like that.
And he jumps on you all the time.
He certainly does. He loves it. So Tyler's giving me ZBs on the way out.
That's right.
And then we got Cito hugging old Junior with the Uptown merch.
Cito.
Yep, old Junior always helps us sell Uptown merch. Again, at the I almost said the poorhouse. We're at the Windbreak on Friday night this weekend. And then, of course, support our troops. There's ZBs out there showing everyone that since my son's in the military and everything else. And we thank him for his service. Support your troops out there. And then, that's right. We were at the poorhouse last weekend, and Troy and, what's the other guys? I'm sorry. Marlon. Troy and Marlon are out there, and you can't really see it there, but they put on this swanky set of mics on my drum. These are Earthwork mics.
Nice.
It's $3,000 for the set.
Damn.
We'll just say that. And I just looked that price up. I don't think they paid that for them, but these are bad. Oh, God. I was so excited. And all he just said was, they don't cover up anything. They're pretty honest. And I'm just like, I better tune my drums then. So there was our setup there out at the poorhouse last weekend. Good times involved with those Earthwork mics. Thanks again, Troy and Marlon. It was a good time. All right, I think that's all I have about me. Yes, so let's get back to Tyler. Tyler, how you doing, man?
Great, doing great.
Thanks for coming on, especially in such small time limits and everything else.
Right.
About the only problem we have with Tyler, again, man of mystery. We couldn't find any photos of him at all. So that thing that you see there is actually a photo of him and somebody else I had to cut out.
Sorry about that.
No, you're not sorry. No.
Yeah, you're sorry about it.
I'm sorry, yes. You're not.
Yeah.
So Tyler, let's hear a little bit about yourself. Where'd you grow up and everything else?
I have a farming background in the area north of Moorhead, and my family's farmed there. And I actually went to high school and grew up down in the cities by Cottage Grove, St. Paul area.
How does that work then? So you grew up north of Moorhead and then went to school.
I went there every summer to help my grandpa farm.
Oh, I got you.
I went to high school down there because my stepdad got a job with Northwest Airlines, and it was pretty cool. And grew up down there, and every summer came up here, and then eventually in 2005 I moved back up here with my now wife, and it's been big game on ever since. Been trying to get in the music scene, you know what I mean?
So, trying to get in the music.
Sticking my foot in the door.
So let's go back and what got you into music in the first place? Were you a band geek? Were you an orchestra guy? No. Did you just pick up a guitar?
No. Yeah, honestly,
sit in the bathtub.
Yeah, pretty much. Growing up, I've always loved music, and wanted to do music, but I was in sports in high school and did all this, did the normal high school sports stuff. And then
you gotta tell us which sports you're in.
I was like a basketball player,
okay,
track and shit like that, but not anymore. Oh. The beer, yeah. So, but I think once I moved up here, started meeting a few people in the music scene, and I always wanted to do it. So it turned out I was like 30. I'm 40 now, and I was like 32 at the time. And
he's so old.
Right? Yeah, old man. But
I'm still the old man in the room.
Yeah, you're still older than me, man. So suck it up. But yeah, just did the normal YouTube thing. Went on YouTube, tried to teach myself how to play guitar and stuff, and started meeting people that had like interests, and just snowballed from there. So
that started around the age of 30. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 32. I think it was about 32.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. And
there's always time.
Right. Yeah. Started late, and now I'm not saying like I'm not, I do my thing. It's not phenomenal, but it's
he's just pushing himself down.
Right.
That's
but
pretty good.
Yeah. We yeah. I just started meeting other people with the same interest, and I've always loved sound too. Like I had my own PA and stuff like that, and built my own little garage band, and had a couple guys coming, and we're playing in there for a while, and just learning as you go. Every weekend, once a week, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and just from background knowledge, so you had a DJ service at one point?
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I did. I probably DJ'd about 15 weddings, I suppose, something like that. Yeah, just kind of dabbled in it and rented equipment. And my wife is a photographer for a long time. She's done weddings and maternity and all sorts of senior pictures and stuff. So through her, I've been able to get DJ gigs stuff. So it's fun. It's great money on the weekend, but it's the weekend, so and they get
tough. Weekends are, yeah.
They get, So and that was before we had kids and a family, and so we were younger and married, no kids.
Ambitious.
Things change now.
Oh my gosh, yes. Especially when you have that first kid, like, all of a sudden life changes right on the spot. Not just for you young people out there.
Right, priorities, man.
Yep. Now my kids are out of that.
I know. Nice. I know you're lucky. You did it early. That's good. You got a kid. Your kids are older. Mine are 3 and 5.
Yep.
So, it's like, oh my God, why? But we did it anyway. So
it's the
wouldn't
best
change
thing
it for the world.
Exactly. Yeah. It's so much work at the time, but geez, you miss it when it's gone.
Right.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. My daughter stopped by earlier today, just to basically bug me. That was about it. So
nice. That's what they do. Yeah. Great. I have that to look forward to as they get older.
Oh, exactly. And she cleaned the house last week for some reason. I don't know about that. Thanks, Sarah, if you ever watch this. But
yeah, nice.
So now you're doing the DJ thing, blah blah blah. You're playing. You're playing with some people in the garage.
Yep. And then
where does that lead to? How did we cross paths? Maybe that's a better question.
I mean, I don't know. I think God came down with lightning bolts and just struck us. And molded us into.
It could be true. It could be true.
It was a great orifice from the world came and put us. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, Uptown. Uptown's how we met, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty certain of that.
Good friend of mine, Brady, was the lead singer for a while, and that's how we met. And I came to help him out and help you guys out do sound, and it just morphed into you guys teaching me a lot of stuff. Hey, shout out to Uptown, by the way. You guys taught me a lot for just for a guy like me that just started getting into things. It was a very good stepping stone into like sound and how setup was and how everything works. So it's awesome.
Well, again, it's always time to learn that stuff, and it's not rocket science either once you get into it.
Yeah. And personalities, that's a big one. Like as you watch a band grow over a few years, there's a lot of things that personality wise and how all that puts into factors. So I think there's a lot of a lot of things that if there's young musicians out there that just know that when you get into stuff like that, you know, just me being a guy from the outside looking in, you know, you're going to see personalities and attitudes come up and how to deal with them and adjust with them, you know, and how you're going to handle it. And it can go one way or the other. It can go crazy bad or it can go crazy good. So,
like they say, it's a dysfunctional family at best all the time. And that's very true. But it's also a lot of fun stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. A lot of fun. Yep. Yep, you got to weigh the fun times with the ones that are, you know.
Yeah, well, it's just growth in life itself.
When it's a grind, too. You know, you guys are going, you know, a working band in this town is going from way eastern Minnesota to way western North Dakota. And, I mean, sometimes in one night. You know,
it can be. There's miles between the places.
Right, and all those things add up, and to have all the right stuff, and it's a lot. So there's more to just being able to, you know, play an instrument and stuff too. There's a lot to that.
Oh yes.
So, not to go on a weird tangent. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying.
No such thing as a weird tangent on here.
Right. Yeah. Buckle up. It's gonna get more.
I'm just wondering what's on his mind tonight. Oh my God. He's coming, he's just all mysterious.
Absolutely.
We're going to talk about some things like, all right, let's do this.
Well, I mean, I've watched other, you know, it's like when a professional musician comes on, like the last podcast guy you had, right? And he went to California.
Yep, Tyler.
You know, the other Tyler. The other Tyler, yeah. Shout out, man. That was good. Yeah. But he, you know, they look at it in a band in a certain way. It was like, it's very mechanical for them. It's probably very mathematical. You know, they go to college for it. You know, they go on that level, but not everybody, you know, especially, you know, that are working musicians are on that level. You know what I mean? And
this is getting interesting. I'm liking this.
Right. But what I'm saying is like that is awesome, you know, and like you can be the finest in your craft, you know, and stuff, but then there's still a human aspect of being in a band with family, you know, with your weekends every summer gone, especially around here in the winter. You don't really do, you know, you do the smaller bars and stuff. And, but like, you know, just with street dances, weddings, stuff like that in the summertime, your weekend is Friday, sometimes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Sunday you maybe get the rest, you know. So there's an aspect to that of it, you know, that I think a lot of people around, you know, that kind of lose sight of that. And I think it's important, you know. I think it's something that people need to, you know, realize, you know.
Oh, there's definitely a time commitment that goes into it. Yeah. The whole thing is like, is there any better job out there? And that's where I'm at on this whole deal.
Absolutely. And the, like you said, the fun of it too. Like you get the best high out of something like that. When you're putting on a great show and you get everything's working right and the crowd's in it, there's no better high than that.
Exactly. Feel appreciated. Everything else, it's kind of, I won't say you set your own schedule, but you know, you do have that time away from things that you can just do whatever you need to do. And then literally the shows themselves are between 4 and 6 hours, depends on like how much stuff you put up or how much, you know, production, all that other fun stuff.
Yeah, and I don't even count setup and teardown. I mean, that's at least an hour or two before and after. Depends on how much stuff you got. So exactly.
And then just travel. But travel is travel.
You know?
You got to find a bus driver.
Right. That's just it. You got to find the guy. Like, you got to have the right setup, too. That's not cheap either, you know, so. Yeah. Whoever's out there, just keep the grind going, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep it up. Yep. It's worth it. Music is important, so.
So me asking you this question is that if you could play in any band in the FM area, which one would it be?
And to play in the band, like an instrument in the band,
or I guess not even in the FM area, just any band in general, just nothing that goes national.
Sadesky Trucks Band.
Sadesky Trucks Band. Shout out to them. I have no idea who you are.
They're awesome.
But it's good to know that there's other stuff going on.
Yeah, look them up. They're the shit. They play a lot of bluesy stuff.
There we go.
Derek Trucks, he's the slide guitar player, and his wife is Susan Sadesky. She's a killer singer.
Beautiful.
So, yep. If I was going to play, I'd try to play a bass in that one, but I don't know if I can do it. I don't think so.
Get a little swanky on it.
That's right. Yeah.
So if we wanted to get, I'm trying to think of a question to ask you that's not going to get too far into the weeds on some sort of thing that might get us into trouble.
Go for it. Fuck it. Whatever.
Yeah. No, so basically you pick the bass, right?
Yeah.
What other instruments would you rather play?
Well, honestly, to be honest with you, I didn't pick the bass. It was out of necessity. So,
what?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I was teaching myself how to play guitar. Then I met Brady.
Okay.
And Brady, he was light years ahead of me. And then I met a really good friend of ours, Kevin. Shout out, Kevin.
Shout out, Kevin.
So, but he came, he's a really good drummer. And we started doing this thing in the garage. And to be honest with you, we started with a trio, and I was using a Fender guitar amp for my bass amp. And I still have it, actually, a cheap Ibanez bass. But we just started putting it together, and then, and this is another importance of, I was going to put this out there, have a good band leader, right?
Yes.
To have that one person that really, you got to have somebody that's gonna put all the ducks in a row, and then be able to take and figure out the nuances between each individual musician, and you get it. Like, we started out as a trio, and he came in, and I barely know how to play. I barely know how to do anything, and he just showed me. He just said, "Hey, this is what I would do," and I would watch him play. And then, Kevin, he could do whatever he wanted on the drums, and then Brady would just put it all together. But we would use him as a beacon to tell us what to do, and I think a lot of times, I'm not to go off on a tangent, but in a band where you get all these personalities and you guys are grinding out, that's another thing, you stop watching each other, you know what I mean? You stop looking at each other and seeing how you lose the you can be robotic about it and that, but you lose the flow part of it. Yep. And stuff. And it's weird for me to say, because I've never been a professional drummer, guitar player, singer, nothing. But me being on the outside looking in, that's what I see. You know what I mean? As a sound guy. You can see those little nuances where you guys don't mesh, and when you mesh, and when things are good, they're good. You know what I mean? Yep. Everybody's watching, you get the groove going. But I think when you're a every weekend musician, every weekend band, and you're going through the grind all the time, you lose that. And I don't think that's something that should be lost.
Oh, so you're saying that basically the mojo just starts kind of walking away.
Right.
Just because you start.
Right.
Polishing all the sparkle off.
Well, right. And
it's
then
kind of like we were talking earlier about cymbals, how you do that to get the sparkle back on to be the opposite direction.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to lose that that flow to it. And I can see how it could easily happen. You guys see each other every weekend. You're together all the time. And the other thing is what I've seen. Don't forget to practice. Even if you're a working band, and I don't know if this is just what I'm saying is, I don't know if this is what other bands do in this town or whatever, but just once a week or whatever, if you guys are playing every weekend, once a week, you got to get together and work out the bugs. You don't want to do it when you get to your gig, you know what I mean, and then do it. You got to do something beforehand.
So this comes from a super fan right here. So,
right.
Yeah. So just seeing how it all actually works together. I highly agree with that. Because there again, you can throw a little spit and polish on there. It keeps the mojo going at the same time.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you got
cooking some brats in the backyard too, that always helps.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I mean, just you gotta be routine, but you can't be routine. It's kind of a weird, I mean, it's so hard. I'm being, like I said, I keep saying it, but from the outside looking in, I can only imagine how hard that would be, to like do all those things. So.
Yeah, it all depends.
Right.
It all depends. My whole thing is always about just show and and not the production, but being able to, to play the show, make it exciting, have essence in places and a story that can be told that lets people, enjoy it at the same time. Because when you start getting people enjoying things, no matter how many times you've done it before, you're willing to do it another 5,000 times again, even that night. So it's just how you structure the entire thing and how you make it happen. And then, there's always going to be things you're going to want to tweak every single time. Now, it's my drum line I'm working with right now. We have our second show on Thursday for the boys basketball game, and our last show went off as a first show. I mean, it wasn't going to be their greatest. It's not going to be their worst. But, it went off as the first show, and these kids, that's why I love drumline people, is that they just are like, that wasn't good enough. Doesn't matter. It wasn't good enough. Let's try it again. Let's do it again. And they stepped up. Oh, my gosh. We'll just say how the energy level is just brimming out, at least on our rehearsal yesterday. It was beautiful. So we can keep that momentum going for Thursday. They got a lot to say. We'll just say that. And we've changed a lot of things in that show within, a week. Just things that we put together, they worked, but we could do this, and it's a little bit more interesting. So
that's nuts. Your drumline. So did you do drumline when you were?
That's my claim to fame, actually, in the area. I still go around.
What was would you do the snare part of it, or just the?
I was the snare guy. Yes.
Nice. So did you do all the flippy sticks? Can you still do it?
A little bit.
Let's do that on the next podcast. You got to show off your
stick tricks on the podcast.
Do your drumline stuff. I think it'd be sweet. Showing off, Wayne.
Well, you got to think of it this way too, Mr. Tyler. Is that it's a young man's sport. We'll just say that. Now, I brought all this stuff back from. Well, when I started off in band, I'll just talk about me for a bit here.
Yeah.
In band is that I really disliked band. And it was boring to me. You sat there and you waited 20 measures in order to play your little triangle, ding, and then you sat back down again. Or else, if you're lucky enough to get the snare part, you got to play for one song on the snare, and then they make you play the mallets, which no one ever liked to do. No one likes playing xylophone for whatever reason. It's kind of a challenge. It's fun, I think. But the drumline thing, the first year I joined marching band, I got a phone call from one of the guys in the drum line. He was like the leader at the time. I'm thinking of his name, Jason Littlefield. So Jason Littlefield, you're the one that started all this. That was a million years ago.
Shout out, bro.
Yep. I haven't seen him since probably high school. It's been a while. And he called me up and just said, do you want to be in a drum corps? And I was like, what the hell's a drum corps? And I'm like, it's like drumline, except we do it at somebody else's place. I'm like, all right, I guess I'm just a dumb freshman, 9th grader. I didn't know what the heck was going on. Had to give up my bowling league. And then started doing this drum corps thing. And then next thing I know, I'm the longest running member of this corps that was out of the Fargo Moorhead area. I lasted from the second year it started all the way until the very end, where basically had to fold it on up. With that, I've tried out for other corps out of Wisconsin area. I played with other corps in Wisconsin area. Went down to the University of North Texas just because their drum line at that time was 10 years, and the only place they had a drumline competition back in the 90s was at PASIC, Percussive Art Society International Convention, where a couple college drumlines would come in, they compete, and then they have a couple of judges, whatever else, and the University of North Texas won that for the 10 years in a row. Now these guys down there playing in those lines, full ride scholarships, I'm guessing on that, but I thought what it was back in the day. I mean, you get a full-line scholarship just for beating on a drum all day.
Yeah.
That was cool. And I went down there and I made snare on their B line. Not saying the A line. A lines were gods. I mean, these guys were, they're a couple years past their, usually, I shouldn't say all of them, but most of them are a couple years past their age out year of 21 in DCI. And they're just getting their degrees and whatever they were doing, and that's how they were paying for it. And I saw some crazy stuff down there, just things that I don't know. I don't think natural people can actually do. And I took that knowledge and I came back here, and a friend of mine, since the drum corps folded up, we got together. We started a nonprofit association for the Fargo Moorhead Percussive Art. No, it wasn't that. It was Fargo Moorhead Marching Arts Association, something like that. So we started, and the whole idea was to get to be a 501c3. And we started off doing as a drum line, because I was like, I won't say the cheapest way to get in, but the only real thing that we had, at least technical wise, was the drumming part, because all of a sudden I became an instructor. I never wanted to be an instructor. I wanted to be a player. So nice. So we bought all this gear. We went out and I learned about recruiting. I learned about speaking in front of public or speaking in public. Putting together, what am I thinking of here?
Arrangements.
Well, arrangements. We got to that part, but just putting together just marketing ideas and all that, and how to get a hold of people, how to find them, all this other fun stuff. We actually had people out of Missouri come up for this thing. That's how far we were reaching out for this stuff, and then I had to figure out how to write a drum corps show or a drum line shows. We didn't have any other things, so I had to write drum line shows. Had to teach drumline shows. My counterpart did all the visuals, so he got all the marching things together, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. And then that just led into things after that. I ended up at NDSU teaching their drumline for a while, and then now I do some clinics. I do one on Williston out there. I used to do the International Music Camp. I did their drumline stuff, and then now I'm at Moorhead High, and we're doing their winter line there. So that's been my biggest claim to fame. I put more time in on that stupid snare drum than probably a fourth of what I put in on drum sets. So there's still more cool stuff coming in on the drum set, at least for me. I know it.
Sweet, man.
It's coming in.
Don't forget, you're also in you're rock and roll, bro.
It's rock and roll.
Yeah. Straight up. Wade's a great drummer. You gotta see him. And when he's in his groove, he's grooving.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I hate taking compliments though.
And a great band member.
You gotta be cool. You just gotta be cool with people.
That's right.
That's my whole thing. It's just like, why do we fight? I don't know.
That's right. Yeah, you gotta take every personality with what it is. And then you start throwing other things on top of there. Don't get me started.
Sarah says she might be a better drummer, and Sarah, you just might. I do have a video of you. I wonder if I have it on here. I might be able to pull it up. So, Sarah, I see you out there in the live chats.
Probably.
Well, that was going to be fun. I was thinking of making that a segment, actually. It's just like random people just come in and just drum on my
That'd be sweet.
For like 30 seconds for no reason.
Yeah, it'd be great.
We had that for a couple weeks in a row. So
I give it a try.
That'd be fun. I also wanted to try this other segment of can you beat a drummer? And then basically I drag you into my next room. We play Guitar Hero.
Oh, there you go.
And then see if you can beat me on there. I used to be really good at it.
That'd be sweet. So yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Bring down the guitar players. But then I started thinking about copyright and all that stuff. And I'm just like, wonder if we can do it like you sit there and play it and then go like at 10 speed so you can't really understand what's going on. Just and then show the score at the end.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's got to be some way.
I don't know. What do you think?
There's always a way around somewhere. But. So what are we talking about now, bro? What are we going to do?
We're talking about basically people inside the bands and then how they work each other.
Right. And home life.
Oh, and home life. There we go. Because, I got stories about home life, too, because I've definitely been there, and I think I took the wrong path the first time. And not trying to be on that pedestal, but I think I got forced into something that probably shouldn't have happened. And there's always compromise for everything. But what do you think here? We'll just let Tyler take the spotlight here.
Well, I think, we're going to, on home life is for one, if you're married or you have a couple kids and you're going to be in a working band that's successful and all that, you obviously your wife and your home life's got to be on board with that, and it's tough, and especially to add on top of that, a lot of guys, especially around here, have other jobs, They work a full-time job and then on the weekends they're gone
what?
too. Yeah. Not you. You don't do that, do you, Teach? You don't do that. But
it's true. I've been living it up here, so
right.
I've just been loving it. Well, I got a unique perspective on that side too. You can really get me down a rabbit hole on that. And I found a couple of YouTubers that are like completely in agreement with what I talk about, and it's really, I think it's kind of toxic watching them talk about it.
Oh no. Well, I mean, for one thing, I mean, the biggest thing is obviously if your spouse is on board and is very supportive, and it will help you do that, and stuff. But it gets to be a strain, and I think like one thing it's going to be kind of weird for me to say, because I want every band to be successful, I want every musician to be successful, but it's not worth, it's really not worth like tearing your family apart over the whole thing, and I mean, honestly, I mean, some people, and in a lot of musicians, I understand that like, that's life, you know what I mean? Like, that's your thing, and if that's how it goes into, but, I just feel like it's in the overall, it's not worth it, and even just me being a sound guy, following you guys around every weekend, it got to be a strain on my family and stuff too. And my wife was great. She supported all of it. She, supported everything, and it made it easy. But when that doesn't happen, I can understand how shit can go crazy, and go down a crazy rabbit hole, and you can really spiral. And, I mean, just, you got to really think about that. For some of the newer musicians coming up, it's like, you got to really make sure that if you're going to do it, you got to set yourself up. You got to set your life up to do it. You know what I mean? Don't be like me, 32 years old, and decide to want to play guitar. And, I know I'm never going to do that. You know what I mean? I'm never going to be that good enough musician at this point to go and do it. And that's just being honest. And I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. But you know what I mean? But if it's something where you're full of talent, because there's so many of those. Think about that way now. There's so many people now. You go on YouTube now, everybody's got it. Everybody can play guitar, and like, there's just so many. I mean, it's a weird thing, but I'm not saying everybody can, but you know what I mean? Like, but there's so many different ways to do it now. And if you're going to do it, is what I'm saying, you really need to buckle down and figure out what it's going to cost you to do in your future life, and stuff. And what I don't know. I'm going off on a weird tangent, but I'm just saying.
You are not. You're absolutely correct. I'm just letting you talk your way through there, because I do have a lot of things to say about that. It's just that there is compromise on all relationships, and all relationships need that. You need to find that balance of where everything's going to be. Right. Now, it comes financial, it comes with the actual physical, and it comes with just being around or being a part of what's actually happening. Exactly, the financial part. Yeah, and all that. And I know the financial part's huge with most people, because obviously, if you don't have money, things just don't work, or it's not going to work. So you do have to figure out where those things are going to be, and then you have to start looking at. It's like, why am I doing this in the first place? Am I trying to be famous? Am I trying to make this a career? Is this just kind of a hobby for me? It's one of those things. So that, again, it just comes into like how people are people. It's just like, when you put a group together, you need to start being honest. It's just like, what do we really want to do with this? Where do we want to go with this? What is our exit strategies and all that? And that's what needs to happen. That's why I always like calling meetings. I always like having everyone on the same page. I always like showing what I'm thinking. I want to know what everyone else is thinking. I love being able to take that and then twist it up and then figuring out what's the best possible product that everyone can come away with. And if it doesn't like for some people, if that's not the product they're looking for, well, can we change it up? Do we want to still keep continuing this relationship, or do we want to start doing something else? I'm not talking about relationships with your spouse or anything. I'm talking about just within the group.
Right.
Back in my day, my relationship with all this was, and I don't know if my kids ever watch this one day, they're gonna kind of see what I'm talking about, is that I had my first child, and then my wife at the time said that, okay, I had to quit doing the drumline stuff because it took a lot of time away from me and a lot of my resources. And I was just like, well, okay, it's time to be daddy. Understand. Let's do that. Well, I just quit. And the drumline really suffered from that because there wasn't anyone to replace me except for Jason Sievels. And Sievels, he did a great job. You know, he kept it going.
Shout out.
Kept that thing going, doing his thing. And then years later, I tried coming back, and there's a whole other story behind that. We're not getting into that one. That one makes me mad. And it's not Jason's fault at all about making me mad. That Jason was awesome through that entire period. But my second child was born, and I was playing in a band at the time called 0 Hour. And during that time, we recorded a 5-piece, it was an EP demo thing. It was a couple covers, a couple originals, and then some just random wackiness in there. But we were getting a ton of radio play, and we were getting a lot of traction. People were actually calling us, and we were a metal band. So that stuff that you hear from the bumper and at the very end, that's 0 Hour. That's what we did. And we were getting a lot of traction for that. And my wife at the time, she decided that I didn't need to be in the band anymore. We played maybe once a month. You know, we had rehearsals every week, but, you know, once a month, and we rehearsed out of my basement. It wasn't going anywhere. She kicked us out of the basement, had to go to a warehouse that we all had to rent. I hate renting warehouses because it always turns into some kind of place where people end up doing bad things. We'll just say that. I never liked doing that. And I was leaving for our first rehearsal after she kicked us out of the basement, and she basically gave me the ultimatum: if I leave, they're going to be gone, and all this other fun stuff. And I just folded and said, okay, I guess I can't be in the band anymore. And do I resent her to this day from that? Yeah, I do. I really do, because we weren't out every weekend. We weren't doing all this crazy, nasty stuff. It was a lot of fun for me. We were having a good time, and things were happening. So that's my whole thing on that. But again, it's not an every weekend type thing. It doesn't take everything away from everything. It was on the hobby side.
Right.
We were really looking to get into Minneapolis, like play a show down there, here and there. You know, it wasn't really much past that. So I do understand the give and take on that whole thing. Yeah. But there is something they have to sit there and figure out. Just like, do I really want to do this? Do I not want to do this? Is this just something that's going to be on the side? And that's just something, it's between everybody. Everyone's different. That's why I love this podcast. Yeah. Getting everybody's story, including Tyler's.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Even though he's just a farm kid.
Yeah, just your aaverage Joe. So. But I know I might have seen what I was going on.
Fuck you, Tyler.
Yeah, fuck you too. Right in your pile, bud.
And Sarah, I can't find the video, so I must erase it off here. So you're lucky. I can't play the video.
Nice. So, how are things going with Uptown, Wade?
Oh, we're doing just fine.
Jamming, ready?
Moving ahead. Got a bunch more dates at the Windbreak and at the Poorhouse and some diamond stuff. And
all the equipment's holding up. And
oh yeah, everything's just fine.
So that was when we were Uptown. Then Cito got that trailer. That was fucking awesome, dude.
Oh my god, it's such a game changer.
Yes, if you're doing the traveling gig thing, you gotta have a trailer. Because you guys did it for so long out of the back of the E350, the van, and that's
how you start.
Yep, that was a lot of work, but that was, kudos to Cito. He got that trailer. That trailers are night and day.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
it's probably
the gear side.
That's probably normal knowledge to most band members, but
but maybe not, because some
telling you, it's a game changer. And rolling cases.
Those rolling cases, as we were watching, where did we steal that idea? I don't say steal, but we were watching Tripwire put their stuff together at a show right next to us. Yeah. Everything was on wheels. They just carted it all out and da-da-da. Yep. And then we went and got the same stuff. My word.
Right.
We can be completely tore down and in the truck and everything else and on the road within an hour.
Yeah.
Within an hour before it'd take us just that much time just to tear everything down, much less put it away,
Yeah, and then that trailer you had room to expand too and stuff too. So so there was you had more room and it was perfect. That was a lot of fun.
Sarah, the cases are the best. Oh, Sarah got to actually get one. We have one we call Gargantua. And it fits all my drums and stuff. And Sarah had to ride in there one time. And we spun her around for a while. That was fun.
Was that Peter? Peter Sarah? Was it that Sarah?
That is Peter Sarah, yes.
She up, Sarah? A long time. Haven't seen you in a while. Miss you.
She's in the live chats.
She's awesome. Sarah, she's the best.
You heard that. Yeah. You always know it's a good show when she shows up. So
yeah.
Never mind having
it. Hey, I just want to say too, to you especially in Uptown for the last how many years? At least the last year, you guys let me hang out and learn a lot. So appreciate that.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, because there's not enough people out there. I don't know if they're like willing to do sound or willing to listen.
Right, and that's the other thing. That's a good point.
Or just do it for everyone thinks. I remember there's a bunch of times where I'm talking because I come from I've actually had this conversation last week. I'm not sure with who, but it was basically I come from the other side of the tracks. I call it. It's where you have all the downtown people that try just to be creative, and you got all the metal people that just sit there and they write their own things, maybe do a couple of covers here and there. And I mean, to me, it was all just about original music. Because if you really think about it, the original stuff has no limit. If that catches on, that can go forever. There is kind of a cap in the cover scene. So I never really wanted to go that way, and we always made fun of the cover people. I just being part of a group, whatever, a tribe. But then I came across that track because I'm just I want to get paid. I want to go play some weekends, be able to not really worry so much about working all the time and everything else. And pay is a lot better on the cover side. I'll just say that, and you can still make the fun out of it too. Every time I'm doing a show, I lay it all down. I give it everything I got just because why not? It's fun. You play Brown Eyed Girl for the 80th time this month. So what?
Yep.
Make it fun.
That's the best part. You have to make it fun, and if it's not fun anymore, then you might as well, then it just becomes a job. It's just another job.
And Sarah says she misses you. You're very serious about your sound duties.
That's right.
And he is. Yep. He was great.
Yeah, we got that mixer where I was buried in a tablet, sitting out in front of you guys, buried in a tablet. But no, hey, thanks to Butter too, helping out, giving me a bunch of pointers. So
still trying to get Butter on the podcast. I don't think it'll ever happen.
Come on, Butter, you gotta get in there.
We'll keep trying.
This is awesome. This is really fun.
But I should get to the weekend report before we start running out of time.
Yeah.
So we'll shout this one out to Sarah. Sarah, this weekend report's for you. Whoops. Comment as much as you want on this. Yep, so I'll just roll through these quick. We're out of town, Theo, and the original in Minot. Slamabama's out there this weekend, 13th and 14th. And Laughing Some Brewing Company, our favorite brewing company out in the Big Buckingham area. Jalen Open Jazz Quartet on Friday, then Flea Bitten Tramps. I love that name this week. On Saturday the 14th, Sandbar 2.
Sandbar, baby.
I'm assuming something's out there, but maybe I'm just full of nothing. I don't know. So, nothing's out there right now. Zorba's at Joint Lakes. We got the Fields this Saturday the 14th. Going downtown, we have short notice happening right now tonight at Dempsey's. Open mic night with Gina Powers. I got the question mark behind her because I couldn't find any confirmation online about it. So let me know in the comments or wherever else if Gina Powers is still doing open mic night. I'm still going to post it out there for you just because I believe open mic nights are where it needs to be. That's where we start growth.
Wait, can I get one shout out?
Shout out?
Are you done?
Yeah, I suppose.
January 27th at Murphy, Brady Robertson.
We'll definitely get back to that too. So, and we got Brothers Burn Mountain on Friday the 13th. Our aquarium, we got Joe Nice, Slim V2V, New Rain, Womster, Modest, and look at that. Octave, spelled in a very mysterious way. On Friday the 13th, Ashfall, Shotgun Facelift. I need to get out and see you guys on Saturday. And And Monroe, I think it's how you say it, Saturday the 14th, M&J Saloon, Tripp and Leslie. Get out there and see old Dan Fuca, Dan Mother Fuca on Friday, Saturday, the 13th and 14th. Troll Lounge, we have the Crop Dusters on Friday. Fancy Dad hitting the stage on Saturday. Alibi Lounge at the Deadbeat happening tomorrow night at the 12th. Front Street Tap Room, Vinyl and Vinyl. Again, there's question marks behind this. I couldn't find any advertising for it or whatever. Not saying that it's not happening, but definitely check out your venues and get a hold of your venues before you venture out, just because things can change at any given moment, especially in the winter months. And we got open mic night with Travis Miros on Monday the 16th. The Cellar open mic with Markley Belcher. Again, question mark on that one. Side Street at Jazz Night on Monday. So there's a Jazz Night every Monday night at the Side Street. First Monday of each month they have a big band, jazz band out there. And then, so go check that out. And DSW in Fargo, I'm sure something's happening. I just couldn't find anything about it. And this week has been a real bummer for me. So sorry if it looks a little bit weird. DFW West Fargo, Blue English. Then the 42nd Street Delta Russ Peterson Quartet in for the Kathy Berkeley's 42nd Street Jazz. I think if I can remember. Okay, Downtown Acoustic Corner, Wednesday tonight, Rachel Ian Murphy's Pub. Thursday, tomorrow night, Jim White at Sweet Shots, Rick Adams at JC Junley. Friday. Yeah, exactly. We went and saw him play with Brady last weekend, and my word.
Good show.
Oh my God, I got some things to say about that man. All right, Friday the 13th, Matt Aubrey's at the Silver Spike, Pepper Ashmore Tailgaters, and Rick Adams again at the Fargo Country Club. Saturday for the 14th, Jim White is at the Roundup Saloon. Then we're going uptown. The Windbreak Sushi Roll tomorrow night at Uptown Band. Over there. Ours on Friday. And then Sushi Roll again back on Saturday the 14th. Southtown Poorhouse, you have Sushi Roll again on Friday. DJ and the Atomics on Saturday at the Shooting Star Casino. We have Great White and Slaughter. We used to call Slafter back in the day on Friday the 13th. The Legend. Legacy of the Loud. Love that name. Is at the Mustang Lounge Friday and Saturday in the Sanctuary Event Center. Time Bomb Pro Wrestling.
Hey.
Yes, Pro
still
Wrestling.
Alive.
Exactly.
They're still doing it.
Tomorrow night. And that's all we got for you this week. So let's get back to Tyler. We're talking about something. Gina is in Nashville. Okay, so there's probably not an open mic night with Gina. Is there going to be an open mic night? Can you let me know out there?
You got to keep those going. Open mic night, that's where, it's a great point to start. We
exactly.
The group that I started with, that's where we started, was open mic night. We went to Windbreak, had Butter hook us up with some badass lights and some badass sound, and we did the best we could do. And
that's what Butter does.
That's right. And Eighth Hour was back then was the open mic night band. So those guys were awesome. So Luke,
house band.
Yep. The drummer, Patio. Yeah, Kyle, the guitar player. So they were all awesome. So yeah, that's kind of how we did that, and we had, that was a lot of fun. We just, the first time we did it, there's a funny story. We're in the garage jamming, and Brady goes, "Hey," because I don't know if he would. I think so I'm gonna call Brady out a little bit on this.
Brady, you're in trouble.
Yeah, love the man to death, and one of my best friends in the whole world. And he had to stretch his wings. He had to get outside of the 3-piece out of the garage. And I think he went out and he did a few things on his own, mic night, and it opened up the world for him. That's how Uptown found him. He was all by himself, and
Cedar saw him and opened
up. Yep. So that was really cool. So I think long story short, we're in the garage jamming, and he goes, "Hey, I think there's an open mic night at Windbreak tonight. You guys want to go do it?" And we're like, "Yeah." I mean, me and Kev were like, "Yeah, let's go." Fucking, my wife and kids are gone for the weekend. I had the whole weekend. I'm like, "Let's go." So we went out and did it, and we actually did pretty well. Luke was there. Luke Haranica, he gave us because he goes, "Well, who's coming up?" We had no band name, obviously. We just whatever, and he goes, "Well, you guys are called Sex Mysteries for the rest of the night."
Sex Mysteries.
Right, and it's kind of, we only did one other night, but it kind of stuck. It was kind of funny, and I tried to overcome that one night, and it didn't work. So I think for our open band night, we were Sex Mysteries, because I think it was during Christmas and it was weird. But thank you, Luke, for giving us that name. That was awesome. And so
shout out to Luke.
Yeah.
Haranica, right?
Yep, Luke Haranica. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, guys, he's a legend. He's a legend around here. So. Yeah, it was fun. That's open mics. You got to keep them going. We should keep.
Oh, exactly.
Bars should keep doing that. Let local talent, let people that don't get the outlet to go out and, even if it's. I remember one that we're at Dempsey's. We did open mic night at Dempsey's.
Okay.
And you get your. There was one guy that went up there. He wasn't even from the town. He just went up there. Someone borrowed him a guitar, and he went up and killed it. Just because he was in the area. I didn't have, and he just went up and it was phenomenal. Then Brady went up and he killed it, did his thing. And then there's another guy, he played a 12 string and he just went and he just played. We were like, sing something. He goes, I can't sing, and he's like, I don't sing. And he's just playing these really cool riffs together. And we're like, we're yelling at him on open mic. And we're like, sing something. And so he's like, okay. And he did, and he was really good at it. Like, why don't you sing when you do it? You know what I mean? And he goes, I don't know. And he was just this kid, I was up there doing it. And then the other, like, there was a girl that went up and did poetry, and it's open mic. You can do whatever you want, and she went up there, and I thought that was cool, so they got to let open mics keep going. I know maybe it's probably not in the best interest for the bar to make a whole bunch of money and all that and stuff, but gives people opportunity to get out. Instead of playing on the street, let them come in and jam it,
Oh, I can't disagree with you more.
Yeah. Wait, you can disagree?
No, I think I'm all right. No, so I can agree with you on all that. Yes. Yeah. And I think that the bars do make some money on that. Just
they probably
bring
do.
all those people in. Oh, yeah. They're going to show up.
Yeah.
And all that.
And the bars need to play them loud and proud and let the people outside hear what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. So. Unless you're out there busking. See, that's a new term.
Busking's cool. That's cool.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. That's a European
I'm a drummer.
Right. Well, it's called. We don't call it bus. What do we call it? What the fuck is it?
For what?
Well, if they play out on the street, it's not busking, but here is it? Is it the same thing? I'm probably sounding really retarded right now.
I don't know.
But
Peter, let us know out there.
Yeah.
We just talking.
I thought it was.
It might be.
It's probably busking. I don't know. It sounds cool. Busking. We'll call it busking.
Okay.
That's great.
We'll go with that.
People do it all the time.
All right, you ready for some juvenile destruction?
Let's do it.
Oh, we got to do this week's Off the Roof. So, again, these are all recycled. I'm trying to find the one, and I guessed wrong again.
Ooh, there you go. There you go. You got the big boot, the shit kicker.
Yep, that was one of ours.
Oh, man.
Oh, so much fun to watch.
Sorry, LG.
Look how much that thing just twisted.
That's cool. You know what though, dude? You need some Roundup on your gun.
Yeah. Definitely good. I was so glad that you were down That's how long the actual thing took.
Was that the monitor that went to shit?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I thought I recognized it.
Got her money's worth out of it.
That's funny, that.
That was perfect game.
Oh, there's
You're hired.
Another thing we should
Yeah, talking with friends with Anna, and they're saying how they broke like a couple dozen of those already. I was just like, wow, we've only gone through one.
Do you remember when I think we were at the Zorbas and the board went out.
The board?
Remember that? And we didn't know where we were like, I was gonna run home. No, we were at the Roadhouse.
That's it.
Yeah. We were at the Roadhouse and the freaking board went out or something. The cord got bumped.
Yep.
And
it wouldn't turn back on.
Yeah, and I was like ready to run back to my place to get 2 mixers to just try to make up for the
Yep.
Oh man, but thank God it turned back on. But yeah, that's a whole nother thing. The backup plan, like you just don't have another mixer waiting if one decides to take a shit, you know, like
some people have redundancies, and then some people just that's what we have. So
or you do an acoustic show.
Just
go with it. Yeah,
things happen there too. So you know, just being able to roll with the punches, and sometimes those make the best magical moments ever because you just it's there, it's fresh, it's new, and you have to make it happen. All of a sudden, things can sparkle, and things can go definitely the opposite direction. But I'm not trying to romanticize the whole thing.
We can go back on a bunch of different shows that were out that were awesome.
Oh, exactly.
Do you, just not to do it again, but you remember we're at the Sugar Island one?
Sugar,
the guy played the harmonica?
Yes.
That was so cool. I still have I have to you have to upload those videos and show how I have a bunch of good videos of that. And,
do you?
Yeah.
You got to give them to me.
That was that is the ultimate show when you can have someone from the audience or from the crowds. But this was a private wedding, and this guy just all of a sudden he knew how to play harmonica and he kind of sing a little bit, and he just killed it. Just came up and grabbed the mic and was like doing the harmonica on the mic.
Exactly.
And it was so cool, man. I mean, those moments they shouldn't be few and far between, but they kind of are. You know what I mean? But
it's priceless. It's priceless stuff.
Right.
And then the stuff that Brady was doing by the last few shows that I actually played with him, where he just had the kids come up, or somebody just strumming.
Yeah.
And he was doing the chord stuff. Right. I mean, it's just I love that crap too.
Get them involved. Yeah. And getting the whole place to sing with you, if you got, you know, where you can stop and the whole place sings, that's got to be a milestone for a lot of. I mean, I can only imagine if a couple thousand people or even a couple hundred people did that, even 100 people. You know what I mean? Like, it's awesome. You know, so.
No, it's one of the greatest jobs in the world, and yes,
right. And that's why you do it. That's what
exactly.
Those are the highs of the high. So,
and I can get into the reasonings why I can basically be a bum. But
we're all bums. We're all on a big spinning rock waiting for it to explode anyway. So we're all on borrowed time.
All right, so we're running up on an hour here, Tyler. Can you believe that?
No, I could go for another hour.
It's like Joe Rogan. It's like, can you believe we just spent 3 hours?
Right?
Yeah, it goes that fast here in the studio. Exactly. We got to have you back in here. You got a great voice on that microphone.
Really?
Yeah. It's just the low end gravel part. It sounds so much better than my beaker type.
Your big whiny voice.
Exactly. It's stupid. But got anything left for the good of the order?
No, I just on an ending note, just keep the music alive, baby.
Keep out there doing it. Brady Robertson
baby, at Murphy's, January 27th. Come check him out. It's already packed. Let's make it packed out the door. He's got a good show coming. So
yeah, it'd be fun to see him actually play. Well, hopefully I can make it to see him actually play by himself. Last time I saw him, he was out there with Rick Adams, and they were doing their thing. They did a couple of songs along with Peter the Red Monk, our Lord Wilbur, who's been in the live chats the entire time.
Peter.
And yes, Peter is a part of Norwegian. Was that royalty? Royalty? Is that a word? Royalty?
Royalty?
Yeah, part of Norwegian royalty. That's his background. So thanks for being out there and everything else. And remember, if your drummer's got more charisma than your front man, your band may be in trouble. But that's why my band's doing just fine.
That's right, brother.
Until next time.
All right, later.